I will show you 20 tips and tricks that will increase your win rate in Fortnite Zero build. Actually, I'm making a bet with you right now. If you learn at least one useful thing in this video, you have to like and subscribe to the channel. If you do know all 20 tips and tricks, I will bow to you and declare you the official champion of Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2. Write down your score of how many of the points you knew down below. Let's see who gets the most points. This tips and tricks video is the God Chest version, meaning we are only talking about the God Chest only items and the Shield Bubble Junior, because there's a lot to learn about that one too. Ready? Let's go. Starting with the wings of Icarus. First, controls. You can use Q and R for sideways dashes. This is super useful to dodge incoming fire, whether you're pushing or running away from enemies. You can use left click for a speed boost and right click to slam into the ground. Keep in mind that using any of the bonus movement will use up more of the ammo of the wings. However, it's crucial to know how to use them properly. Second, if you glide over the ground, it's actually less bad if people shoot you. Why? You can easily stop flying and start firing back. And additionally, enemies won't see you from that far away. You're not going to be visible for everybody in the general area. And the chances of you getting shot from multiple people at once will be drastically lower as well. Third, get out of line of sight before using the wings. Do not simply start flying while the enemy is still looking at you. You will be shot down. What you can do, for example, is perhaps dash behind cover, then start using the wings so that you don't get shot while doing the build-up of your flight. You don't need the dashes for this though. Just always keep this in mind. Break line of sight before you start using the wings in any combat situations. Fourth, do not use them when the enemy has clear vision on you. It is super easy to shoot you down. And fifth, do not use them to push even if you have the advantage. You will quickly lose it this way, and at the very least take a giant amount of damage, but most likely you will just straight up die. Your hitbox will be increased, and it is way too easy to shoot people down that are using Icarus rings. Use them to rotate, not to fight. Zeus Thunderbolt. 6. Try dashing between throws to be less easy to hit. Especially useful if you of course have Cerberus Medallion, or in the early game where you will mostly use the Thunderbolt of Zeus. If you drop Grim Gate or in the underworld, quickly get into the water, tank up your dashes and practice this. Throw a lightning bolt, dash, throw a lightning bolt, dash, throw a lightning bolt. This way you counter the main weakness of the Thunderbolt of Zeus, namely that you just hover in the air and are the easiest target in the history of Fortnite for any enemy. Try it out. I would go so far to say that you should only use Thunderbolt of Zeus if you have dashes ready to do exactly this play. 7th, don't use them in open fights against decent players. They will one-clip you. 8th, if you're on the opposing side of this, make sure you just shoot them down. 99% of the players don't dash and will just hover still in the air. The best counterplay to the Thunderbolt of Zeus is simply shooting them. Don't panic. 9th, shield bubbles counter Zeus Thunderbolt perfectly. What you can do is immediately throw down a shield bubble and then keep stepping in and out, allowing you to be way safer while shooting your enemy, while still being able to damage them for free, no matter if they have dashes or not. And that brings us to the next big point: shield bubbles. As I just said, they counter Zeus Thunderbolt. And 10th, use it to get in and out of bunkers. It's really good versus campers to close the distance indoors. What you do is you simply throw the shield at the entrance of the bunker or a building that's being camped. In the narrow spaces, they will not be able to shoot around it, meaning you can easily close the distance. And 11th, you can throw them on cars for portable cover, which is especially useful in endgames if you want to make a rotation towards the zone, where good players would normally just spam down your car and avoid you from doing so. You can be safe, throw on a bubble, rotate to where you want to be, enjoy your new position in the new zone. 12th, similar to portal bunkers, they will be great to avoid getting third-partied, especially for long range in the end game. Upsides being that you get perfect vision on what's happening and full 360 degrees cover at all times. Downside is enemies also see exactly what's happening and it doesn't last as long as portal bunkers. Additionally, keep in mind that EMP grenades will instantly destroy your shield bubble. However, this means you still get the first couple of shots out on your enemy, since he will be in the weapon swap animation, but you will be able to shoot right away depending on the distance of your enemy. Chains of Hades. 13th, you can drag people in front of your cover to get easy right side peeks with your shotgun. By the way, made a full video on the Chains of Hades. That is a must watch. There is way too much to learn about them that almost nobody knows. I linked that at the end of the video. TSK moment. I linked that at the end of the video. By the way, sorry guys, I'm pretty sick at the moment. So if my voice sounds like absolute shit, I'm sorry. It'll hopefully be better next video. But very quickly, a couple useful tips on what you can do with the Chains of Hades. 14s, you can pull enemies out of cover, or even stronger, in front of your cover. A situation you never really want to be in Fortnite is as a guy camping behind cover that has a right side peek on you while you're literally out in the open with no cover whatsoever. And with the Chains of Hades, you can make this exact situation happen all the time. And of course, if people are just camping in cover, especially behind rocks, for example, you can jump up, hook them, and pull them out as well. I showed a really cool example of that in my Chains of Hades video as well, where I was fighting against the duo, and I pulled the first guy behind my cover on purpose so that me and my teammate can shoot him while his teammate had no line of sight on any of us. And after eliminating him, I pulled the other guy in front of my cover in purpose to again do the right side peek while he had no cover. There honestly is so much to talk about with the Chains of Hades. Again, go watch that video for sure. 15th, you can also use it to pull fleeing enemies close to you. This is pretty straightforward. Many times this season, people are desperately trying to get away from you, and it can be pretty tricky to actually track them down. The Chains of Hades are the perfect tool for this. If enemies have their back turned to you, it will be even easier to hit the hook as there's no pressure on you as well. And once you got them in close range again, you will be able to finish them no problem at all. 16th, for duos, trios, and squads, you can pretty much insta-eliminate anybody by pulling them into your team while your team can already start shooting while the enemy is being dragged. This will literally eliminate anyone within a second or two, because in a squad match, for example, what's the place where you least want to be ever? In the center of a full squad. This is literally stronger than a sniper headshot, as a sniper headshot will only knock an enemy, and especially in squads, enemies will often be able to get them back up. Guess what? They cannot do it if the knocked enemy is in the middle of your team. You can easily finish him off, guaranteeing that 3v4 for the rest of the fight. And of course, you can just repeat it with the next enemy, etc. Don't sleep on the Chains of Hades. They are absolutely broken, especially for duos, trios, and squads. 17th, you can pull teammates into cover. This is especially useful for knocked teammates. Yeah, exact opposite situation of what I just told you about. How many times did this happen that either you or your teammate got knocked, you have no cover, you're trying to get back into cover desperately, but the enemies finish you off. Now you have the Chains of Hades, you just pull your teammate back into your cover. And if the enemy is far enough away, you can rest your teammate. But even worst case, this will allow you to win the fight and rest your teammate after, since he's gonna be in cover instead of out in the open where he can get thirsted. Also useful, 18th, you can pull loot. This helped me a lot already. I didn't expect this to be a big game changer. However, guys, in endgames, in small zones with enemies around, this is more useful than you might think. It happened to me a lot of times already now that I see a dead body, I'm desperate for shield, but I can't get to it as it's in the middle of the zone and people have line of sight on me. I dragged the shield to me while I was still in cover and shielded up pretty much for free. Don't sleep on this tip. This might sound pretty simple, but try to keep it in mind when you're playing. Insanely useful for endgames. That brings us to a similar tip, 19th. You can fish ultra fast with this. Also helped me out a lot of times now already when I had to rotate over the small island on the big lake and I was out of shield or health. You can fish so fast. It's unbelievable, this thing. And yeah, literally the fastest way to heal up in Fortnite. I think it's actually faster than just straight up using a vending machine sometimes, it feels like. Save this one in the back of your head. Might come in handy. And the last one, number 20. Burger King foot lettuce. No, you can pull people from the sky that are using the wings of Icarus. People look so stupid when they get dragged down out of the sky, especially if they're trying to use it to flee from you. Yes, in that situation, you could also just shoot them, but for extra swag points, drag them down to the ground where they belong, finish them off, and get your epic victory royale. That's 20 tips. Let me know your score down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you learned something new. Hope you enjoyed the video and want to see more of my guides on your timeline. The next video will be another one of my Inside My Mind series that you guys have been enjoying so much, with a focus on how to play Mount Olympus early game and transitioning perfectly through the game after. Don't miss it.